All right, now this is lesson 11. You're going to stop and think about what you just learned in lesson 9, that we have water droplets sticking to CCNs, cloud condensation nuclei, but how come everything doesn't immediately start falling to the ground? There's gravity, it's pulling down on objects. What is keeping the cloud up in the air? So you're brainstorming some ideas. You're sharing some experiences on this next slide, and then you're moving to the first investigation. You can try this yourself, or you can watch the next video. You're going to tear off a small corner of a tissue, you bend a straw so that it's pointing up, and you blow through the straw to see what happens to the tissue when you're holding it above. You can watch the video here to see what happens if you don't have the supplies to try it yourself. Make sure you're in present mode to watch the video. You can also follow this link to see it on YouTube. And then you're going to create your own model. You're going to show what happens to the paper. So you have arrows representing the force of air. So stop and think, which way is the air pushing? Is it pushing up, down, left, right? Which way is the force of gravity going? Up, down, left, right? And then that will help us explain how the paper is moving. So if the paper is moving up, which way should there be bigger arrows? Should it be pointing up or should it be pointing down? That's what you want to stop and think about. You'll put your model on the slide in this beige square and then move on to investigation 2. Here you're going to look at a ping pong ball and a scale and a hairdryer. So here's a video walking through it. You get to see what happens when you put tissue and a ping pong ball on the scale. Play this video, remember, be in present mode. There's also a link up here. And then a hairdryer is going to blow on the scale and you're going to see what happens. Once again, for this video, make sure you're in present mode. You can also follow a link to YouTube. If it's not letting you play the video on YouTube, it means you need to be logged into your school account. Finally, you are going to have a hairdryer facing upwards with a ping pong ball above it. So similar to that setup with the straw and the tissue, only this time it is a hairdryer and a ping pong ball. Once again, video, make sure you're in present mode, or you can follow the link. Just make sure you're logged into your school account in YouTube. You're going to record your observations here. So what happens? What does that tell us for part 1, 2, and 3 of the videos you just watched? Then we're going to start explaining what air can do. So it's very important that when you are looking at these 3 situations, you want to think about the force of air pushing upward compared to the force of gravity pulling downward. That's what you're comparing. So your answers should always be the force of the air is blank than the force of gravity. So it could be the force of air is greater than the force of gravity, the force of air is weaker than the force of gravity, or the force of the air is equal to the force of gravity. Those are your 3 options for each of these situations. So you have the object moves upward, the object falls downward, and the object hovers or floats, like stays in one spot. And then you start thinking about what that has to do with clouds. And then your exit ticket. So this is connecting to other situations, related phenomena. So what changes in the conditions outside cause stronger updrafts than days that have weaker updrafts? And what kind of data would we need to investigate whether those changes actually cause updrafts? And that is everything you need for lesson 11.